Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Neese. It is the 14th of February 2025 and we have a very active storm track across the entire country, and it's going to be bringing us waves of storm systems. We're going to be seeing threats for severe weather on the 15th across the deep south. We're going to see a threat for flash flooding, Arkansas, Tennessee, into West Virginia. We're also going to be seeing some of the coldest air of the season push out of Canada in two waves, one Sunday into Monday, another midweek into the end of the week. And we're going to be seeing some of the coldest air of the season across the eastern two-thirds of the country. And then things are going to start to relax a little bit. By the way, once that really cold air gets here, we're also going to see more waves of snow for the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, back into the Northeast, and as far south as the Tennessee Valley. Well, let's take a look at what's going on. You can still see this very active pattern. Got a strong jet stream across the Pacific, diving across the Baja of California into New Mexico and Texas. That's helping to spin up these storm systems. There's also the northern branch of the jet rolling through along the U.S.-Canadian border. That's going to be dipping south, allowing that next chunk of cold air to come down here. Already, the watches and warnings across the country, the green flood watches from Arkansas, Tennessee, into Kentucky, back into West Virginia. We've got winter storm advisories and watches in effect from the Northeast back into the Great Lakes, also back into the Rocky Mountain states where we're seeing more snows, especially in the higher elevations. The pink areas are winter storm warnings. Winter storm warnings for much of the mountains of California, the Sierra Nevadas, where we've already seen really heavy amounts of snowfall, but the heavy rains have abated for now across the coast of California. All right, winter storm is knocking on the door. But first, let's take a look at what's going on with the threat for severe weather across the deep south. This is for Saturday, the 15th. The best chance of any kind of active severe weather is going to be across the southeast. There is a level 3 out of 5 risk of severe weather across parts of Mississippi, Alabama, back into Louisiana and Arkansas. This is where we're seeing an enhanced risk of storms from the Storm Prediction Center. There's a slight risk around that, extends from Nashville down to the Gulf Coast, back into eastern Texas, and then a marginal risk outside of that. Now, here's what we're going to be seeing with this. We're going to be seeing a forced line of thunderstorms along a big front moving through Saturday evening into Saturday night, early Sunday. And with that, right along that front, we're going to be seeing these big thunderstorms, the potential for hail, some high winds as well, and can't rule out a few spin-up tornadoes within that line. But if we can start to see cells ahead of the line, that's why we're seeing that enhanced risk, because we could see stronger tornadoes. And with that, the Storm Prediction Center is putting a 10% what we call hatched area. That's the black hatching there. That means there's a 10% risk of an EF2 or stronger tornado within 25 miles of any point in that area. And so while we do have a risk all the way from 2 to 5 to 10% of tornadoes in this area overall, the highest risk is going to be Mississippi, Southwest Tennessee, Arkansas, back into northern Louisiana. All right, so let's take a look and see what the radars do with this. This is the high resolution radar rapid refresh. It's going to forecast the radar into the future. This is a computer model. And so as we go through the nighttime Friday night, the 14th, we are going to start to see thunderstorms build. Now, this is along a warm front as the warm air from the Gulf starts to lift northward, and we start to see thunderstorms build out. Now, we could see a strong storm with this Friday night into early Saturday, but this is not the big severe weather risk. Some of these storms will have a lot of lightning, could have a little bit of hail with them, but again, that's on the nose of the warm front and the warm air. It's later in the evening into the night on Saturday where we start to see the better risk of severe weather. This is 7 o'clock in the morning, showers and thunderstorms from Tennessee back into Arkansas. And again, some of those could contain quite a bit of lightning. Then a little bit of a break during the day. This is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, fairly calm, Mississippi into Alabama and Tennessee. But here comes the organizing line that would have the greatest severe threat over parts of Arkansas ahead of that front. We go deeper into the evening. This is 8 o'clock in the evening, a well-organized line of thunderstorms with a lot of lightning stretching from Tennessee back into Mississippi, back into Louisiana. And these cells ahead of that line, again, any cells that develop ahead of the line have an even greater risk of seeing tornadoes. But within the line, we could see spin-ups as well. So this is all going to be crossing this area during the overnight, Saturday night into Sunday. This is midnight Saturday night, early Sunday morning. The line of storms from around Crossville, Tennessee to Huntsville, approaching Birmingham, down into southern Mississippi, Biloxi, and back down into New Orleans. And anytime during the overnight, Saturday night into Sunday, these could be strong to severe. Then Sunday morning, around 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, we've got thunderstorms now that stretch from the Carolinas. They're weaker than they were during the overnight, but still could be active. And then Georgia into the Florida Panhandle. Now, if we take a look at what the computer models are forecasting as far as lightning density flashes, how strong are these thunderstorms with the lightning? You can see the most active lightning. This is going to be Saturday night, develops here, and then pushes to the north and redevelops with that line. And so there could be quite a bit of lightning with this as it pushes off toward the east. And again, overall, the greatest threat is going to be the threat for some very strong winds for a widespread area, isolated tornadoes. Now, as we go into the overnight, Saturday night and early Sunday, taking a look at one more parameter, this is called the Energy Helicity Index. This is where the greatest shear, the greatest turning in the atmosphere coincides with the greatest instability, fuel for these thunderstorms. And it maxes out over West Tennessee, northern Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, and Louisiana, right in that area where the Storm Prediction Center has the highest risk. And as the nighttime wears on, gradually that fades. So hopefully during the overnight, we'll start to see, especially in the early morning hours of Sunday, we'll start to see a weakening trend, but we're going to have to watch it very, very carefully. All right, so that is your severe threat Saturday night and early Sunday morning, the 15th into the 16th. Now, here's the overall pattern. You can see on Saturday, this is in the afternoon, big warm front, heavy rains across the Ohio Valley. They start in Tennessee. And again, these are areas that have already seen 1 to 3 inches of rain. 1 to 4 will be possible with all of this rain. And then the line starts to organize back over Arkansas. It sweeps through Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia in the morning. And look at the cold air spilling in behind it. This is going to be plunging temperatures on Sunday into Monday, all the way to the Gulf Coast. Areas that have been so warm in the 60s and 70s are going to cool off significantly, and some very cold air over the northern plains. Then that abates a little bit. It's cold Monday. And then as we head into Tuesday, we're going to be seeing the threat of snow through the Tennessee Valley. It starts by noontime. The system is building across Missouri, and we're starting to see snows break out St. Louis, Columbia, Missouri, back to Kansas City. And then as the afternoon wears on, that crosses into Tennessee and Kentucky into West Virginia. So as we head into Wednesday evening, or in the early morning hours, right, this is Tuesday night into Wednesday. So this is through 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. You've got snows from West Virginia back into Kentucky, Tennessee, and then rains to the south, some heavy rains for parts of Florida with this, and that cold air is dumping in behind that system for Wednesday, Thursday, into the weekend. And the core of that cold is right there, right over Chicago, coming out of the plains as we go into Thursday morning. And that's going to lead to some very cold temperatures. All right, let's take a look at the temperatures. This is the GFS forecast for the temperatures as we head into Saturday. It's pretty warm. 60s in Tennessee, 60s and 70s, Mississippi, Alabama, and then warm along the Gulf Coast. But there's that cold air loading up and starting to spill south Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday, you can see it. It's pushing to the south. And where we were around 60, mid-60s even on Saturday in Tennessee, by Sunday at noon, we're in the 30s. And you can see it steps down, 20s across Illinois and Missouri, teens across parts of Iowa, single digits and below zero the farther north you get. And then Sunday night, look at this, minus 24 degrees across and that's air temperature, not wind chill, across parts of North Dakota, as the core of that cold air sinks down into the northern plains. But it's cold all the way to the Gulf Coast, temperatures eventually down into the 40s and 30s. Places like Birmingham are going to see a complete flip-flop in their temperatures as we go from Saturday to Monday. And then Monday, this is noon, temperatures only in the 30s in Nashville, around 40 Little Rock. And you're back in the 50s in Texas, but you're going to see another big cool down because that cold air reloads. And as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, look at it begin to sink down to the south again. This is Wednesday morning, temperatures below freezing in Nashville, single digits for St. Louis, well below zero for the northern plains. And while you're temporarily warming up a little bit across parts of the Gulf Coast, as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday, that cold air really takes hold. So we've got temperatures in the morning only in the low 40s along the Gulf Coast, 30s even from the coast of Texas into Louisiana, Nashville down around 20, teens across much of the Northeast, and the heart of that cold air continues across the plains with lots of temperatures below zero. Friday, as we head through the day, it stays cold. Even middle of the day on Friday, temperature 23 degrees in Nashville, 24 Memphis, 14 St. Louis, and temperatures only in the 40s along the Gulf Coast for the daytime. And then as we head into Saturday and Sunday of next weekend, we start to see things moderate just a little bit. But with all that comes some snowfall. Let's take a look at what the computer models are forecasting for snow by the time we get to the end of the upcoming week. Heaviest of the snows have fallen through the upper Ohio Valley into the Great Lakes, plus 12 inches of snow, 14 inches, 15 inches, 16 inches around Indianapolis, parts of Illinois up towards Chicago, 7, 8, 9 inches, and south of there in central Illinois, Centralia, back into Mount Vernon, perhaps over a foot of snow by the time we get to the end of the week. And there's your lighter snows, but even down into the Tennessee Valley, that comes Tuesday night into Wednesday. So very, very active weather pattern will continue, and we'll obviously watch all of it and have another update for you as the weekend goes along. We are headed into severe weather season as we head into March, April, and May. Make sure that you learn how to protect your family with your severe weather safety plan in this video, and then check my YouTube shorts and you'll find lots of tips and interesting facts about tornadoes there. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.